What is good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Blana, and welcome to another edition of Good Friends, Better Rivals. We didn't take the week off. Actually, we didn't take the week off. We're actually switching days. Actually, this point forward, Good Friends, Better Rivals will be moving to Fridays, 3 o'clock on the Let's Get Ready Network, the Highlights YouTube channel, because one of us got themselves a proper job. You know what? And I want to take this moment to congratulate Caleb for getting that job. Caleb, congratulations, my man. Got a job, man. It's wonderful, man. It's wonderful.
Huh? It is pretty good. Took me a while, but I got it, and I got Fridays off, so this is when we're doing the show.
Yep. So due to the fact Caleb's new job, we can't be doing it anymore on Mondays, live or pre-taped. But we'll be doing these every Friday, either pre-taped on special occasions, but mostly lives every Friday, 3 o'clock. But the first episode we're doing is pre-taped. So this is pre-taped. But we just wanted to make the announcement and go through that. So make sure to remember that. But next week, I believe we'll be live next week. That is the affirmative. If stuff changes, we'll tell everybody. But next week we'll be live 3 o'clock on Friday. But now let's get right into it. Caleb, we had some football coming. Real football. The game was being played, but also football news in the NFL was being played. But first, let's break down our favorite thing to talk about: the other football leagues in the XFL corner. Let's talk about it, Caleb. The XFL happened this past week. Houston was upset by Seattle, but is it really an upset? Because Seattle's pretty good. It was a shootout between Orlando and Vegas.
It wasn't upset.
It wasn't upset. There was a shootout between Orlando and Vegas, and which is weird about Orlando because did you see who was their starting quarterback?
We're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk about that too. So now break it down, Caleb. Break down the XFL for us. You watched 3 games. Now break it down. What happened?
Houston, Seattle, big upset. Houston been looking like the best team in the XFL. But what did I tell you last week? They have not played a team from the North yet. They played all the Southern teams, and it looks like the South sucks because as soon as they play the North team, they lose. And it wasn't even the best. It wasn't even the best North team. It was like the second best North team, and they still lost. They got completely shut down on offense. For most of the game, shut down for 3 quarters. The Seattle defense really stood up on them, and that was kind of the thing throughout the season. I've been noticing that Houston playing really good defense, but offense a little shaky sometimes. And Brandon Silver's completely inaccurate in this game. I think maybe was around like 50, almost 50%, maybe a little better.
Yeah, 25 out of 47.
Was throwing the ball. Yeah, he was not good. And that was a big part of why their offense couldn't move the ball. They couldn't run the ball. Couldn't do anything on offense. They get the Seattle gets the early lead. And they could have actually ran away with this game if DiNucci doesn't throw 3 picks. That's really what kept Houston in this game. It was his first time where he was just really kind of bad. He was good, like I said. He got the early lead. He was pretty good to begin with, but then he just kept Houston in the game by turning the ball over. But of course, the same guys. It's like you notice the same guys just appearing on all the teams, the guys that shine for them. And again, it was Ja'Cory Peterson who was shining for the Seattle Sea Dragons in the receiving core. He's been playing great for them every single game. He leads their team in receptions and receiving yards. And then Josh Gordon, DiNucci was getting pissed off about him because he was running the wrong route. It looked like he was just running the wrong routes all the time. And he was like, "Get this guy off the field." He was cussing at him. He wanted to he was just going after Josh Gordon because they just did not have a connection because he was throwing that's part of why they was throwing interceptions because they were just not on the same page. Like he was just throwing way off from where Josh Gordon was. And it was when he was throwing to him, the balls were just way off. They had no connection whatsoever. So that was a big problem for them. Uh, their main guy, Ellison, running back, could only had six carries for 15 yards. I was surprised to see. Usually he's been doing great for them, but they didn't really give him the ball. That's why it was kind of only still a 14-21 game, low scoring. But they got the big upset, man. That proves that Houston is still vulnerable on the offensive side, and they can be beat against these northern teams.
Mhm.
All right, and then we get to the next game. That was the DC and St. Louis. Really good game, really entertaining game. Uh, and then DC just kept doing what they're doing. They kept doing. They don't pass the ball ever. They never throw the ball. They threw for 90 yards in this game, and all they do is run. And they ran
Well,
the
it's
hell out of the
an
ball.
efficient 90. It was an efficient 90. It was 12 for 18.
There's no such thing as an efficient 90 yards passing game. That's terrible. It's awful. I don't care if you're in NFL,
It's really
XFL,
bad.
USFL.
It's really
90
bad.
yards is horrible. I
So
mean,
yeah,
that's just what, but that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. They don't throw the ball. All they do is run the ball, and they're undefeated because of it. It's just crazy. All they do is run, and they're still undefeated. Abram
Abram
Smith
Smith.
went off. Holy hell, did he go off? 218 yards at two, huge run. 70-yard run that just went crazy. Just like no one touching him on that one. Three touchdowns in the game. My God, like that dude had a hell of a game. And those type performances that really stand out and that kind of gets you onto an NFL radar. That's how teams like seeing this kind of game and say, hey, maybe we should sign this guy. That's why you see a lot of these free agents. Like free agency is not done. It's a lot of talent in this XFL that could be signed from some of these teams. I mean, Cowboys are
Mhm.
a great example of that. We got an All Pro from the USFL, All Pro kick return in Kavontae Turpin. So
Did you
there's some
see their
talent that can be
commercials,
had
Caleb?
in this.
You
What's
see their
what
commercials?
commercials?
So the
USFL
USFL's
commercials?
commercials is yeah. You see those commercials?
Yeah.
You see how they they threw shots at the XFL. You saw that?
Did they?
Yeah. No. So what they
I
say
know
is
it's like
April. Their tagline is "Real football's back."
World football. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
No.
it, bang bang. Shots,
Yeah,
man, shots.
but like I said, you can think free agency's done, but there's talent in the XFL and the USFL. So maybe your team didn't do so great of getting free agents, but there's still talent in this league. If you watch these leagues, and you might see a guy like Abram Smith shining like this, and you might say, hey, that guy might have a
Yep,
chance to
sign
play
him
for
for like a
us.
1 year deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
But yeah,
St.
so
Louis home?
St. Louis home, 38,000
Wow.
people in the stands. Biggest crowd in XFL history.
Hmm.
St. Louis really shows out for their team. Love their Battlehawks, and they had a typical Battlehawks game. They get down, they come back, and they try to see what happens at the end. See if they can get their AJ McCarron magic. It didn't happen for them this week. So that's kind of like a up and down team with that kind of thing. Yeah, it either happens or it doesn't happen for them. And it happens more often than not. But this time against a DC Defenders team that has a pretty good defense, just didn't happen for them this week, and they lose 28-20, 28-20. So, but the next game,
Hey, by the way,
finally,
DC
finally,
Defenders. By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
DC Defenders. Former Battlehawks quarterback Jordan Tamu is the quarterback of DC Defenders. He was the Battlehawks starting quarterback in the first reiteration of the XFL with Vince McMahon. All right, you said finally Vegas won, Caleb.
Finally, Vegas won, baby. We get our first win. Us, and we know we should have had we should have had multiple wins this season. We just kind of blow the games all the time. Um, we should be better than what our record says. We just too many. That's just the Vipers. It's just a turnover penalty. I think probably the most penalized team in the XFL. Just mistakes after mistakes. That's all we do. And even this game, we could have probably lost because Orlando was coming back on us. But we did get the win anyways. Um, like I said, Luis Perez is the right quarterback. He started for us. He had a really good game. Didn't make any mistakes. Threw 3 touchdowns, 269 yards. Had played really well throughout. Finally had to get a little bit of run game, 123 yards as a team. And again, Jeff Beded been really good as a receiver. But like you mentioned earlier, uh, was his name Quentin Dormady? Big
Yep.
controversy. It turned out not to be a controversy because it turns out he didn't do it. At least that's what
Yeah.
the all the evidence says that he didn't do anything wrong. So I don't know what all the hubbub was about, but
So Orlando
he
just
gets the
sucked.
start. Yeah, he gets the start for the Guardians, and he actually played pretty well. He actually did a really good
Yeah,
job.
he
Like I
did.
said, it's 35,
Yeah.
32 game, high scoring game. It's just the Guardians have the worst defense in the XFL. They are terrible. Everybody scores on them. The teams with no offense score on them. Like everybody scores on the Guardians. They have a terrible defense. They get nothing from that side of the ball. But a guy who
Shout
was
out to
shining
Orlando
for them,
B, her
yeah,
Orlando
uh,
Guardians.
yeah, Cody Lammer had a great game. Obviously, you probably know his name from the NFL um,
The Cody,
with the
Indiana
Broncos, right?
University. I also played for the Giants and the
He was
Broncos. Yeah,
oh, he played with the Giants and the
they played for the
Broncos.
Giants. Yeah,
Had a great game, 8 receptions, 124 yards. Um, like I said,
a
they
touchdown.
did make it a game. Almost came back on Vegas, but just wasn't enough for them. Lost by 3 points. But the probably best game they had, even though they still looking for a win. But Vegas finally gets something out of them. Probably still not going to make the playoffs because only 2 teams from each division makes the playoffs, and we're just the North is just too good. They have the other 3 teams in the North are just better than Vegas, and they're probably three really good teams in the league. And the South, only really good team is probably Houston.
Hmm.
But that gets to the next game. The other 2 teams in the South, San Antonio and Arlington. Um, boring game, horrible, boring game. Um, these 2 teams are boring. They always have boring games.
Yeah.
Their game was 10-12,
Hmm.
and there wasn't much to say because they have the same problem. They're like the same team. These 2 teams are they have the different records. I mean, Arlington's 3-2. San Antonio only has like 1 win, I think. But they're kind of the same team. They have terrible quarterbacks. They've tried multiple quarterbacks. Both teams have, and they just still can't find one because their quarterbacks suck. All of them. All of them suck. All the ones they tried suck. They don't have any offense. They don't run the ball. They have no offense. Neither team have offense. They both have really good defenses. Given why they it's a 10-12 game, and
Hmm.
they usually have low scoring games and the both these teams games. But yeah, both they don't have no offense, and they just one team with a little better than the other team, and that's why Arlington got the win. But that's really all I can say for those 2 teams.
All right. Now let's preview next week. Next week we got the Guardians. We got the Seattle Sea Dragons at the Orlando Guardians on Saturday. And then on Saturday again, we got Vegas and St. Louis at Vegas. Then we got Sunday. The only game on Sunday, it is Arlington versus San Antonio. And then Monday night,
Monday Night
4 o'clock,
Football.
Monday night game. Monday night
And it's the
football.
best
We
game.
got
It's the
Houston.
best game.
Yeah. Yeah. Houston versus DC. Can Houston show people that they can beat a team from the North? Because
Yeah.
in against Seattle, it was 21-14. It was a close game. It's only one possession. Actually, that you could is it was one possession. It's 7 points. You could win the game. You could win by 8 or 9. 9 points is a one possession, by the way. I just want to point that out in the XFL. 9 points is a one possession. But if Houston, so
Yeah,
that's
18
Houston. That's the
points is a
match.
two possession. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Three
if you think
touchdowns.
about
Three
it.
touchdowns is in the NFL is freaking a two possession game.
Yeah, and here's the thing too about the thing about the USFL saying real football is back. If I wanted to watch real football, USFL, I would watch the NFL. You know, not your second rate football. Okay, I know what good football looks
I
like.
mean, don't denigrate that USFL. We're going to talk about
No, no,
USFL.
no, I'm not gonna denigrate them, but like, don't like, but like, I know it's marketing wise, but like with these alternative leagues, you need to be slightly different than the NFL. Because if you're like the carbon copy of the NFL, I just watch the NFL. Like, what's the point? You know, like, so give me something different. In
I mean,
the
yeah. I
XFL,
mean,
there is a
USFL is
little,
wait. It's closer than the XFL is. XFL is pretty different than the
yeah,
NFL. So
exactly.
I
So like
think they stand out
it
for
gives me that
those
gives me
reasons.
something that's different. Like it gives me that it's a little different. Like kickoffs are definitely different, way different. Kickoffs are way different. The scoring system is
Yeah,
different.
it's like a mixture of college and pro because they only go 1 foot in bounds when catching a
Mm-hmm.
ball. They
Mm-hmm.
stop the time a little similar to the college rules.
In
At least in the
the
last 2 minutes.
XFL doesn't stop. The XFL does not stop.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
in the
stop.
last 2 minutes,
Oh
it
yeah,
does
yeah. The
stop
last two
for
minutes,
first
yeah,
downs in college.
exactly. So like, give me a little. Like that's what I like about I enjoy about the XFL. It's a little different. It's a little different. I'm not watching an NFL game. It's an XFL game. It's a little different. It's not like it's not tacky changes either. These are kind of cool changes. You can,
Yeah,
if
they're
you
even
want
talking
one.
about them now. Like all
Mhm.
they I forgot which teams brought up. They actually talking about the XFL changes and the end
The
coming to
four and the four and
NFL. At
15.
least
I
they're
think it's the four and
talking
15.
about it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
the
four
four
and
and 15.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a 4 and
because
25. It
it's
was
a
a
good
25 and
idea.
15.
It's a
Yeah.
better idea than onside kicks.
Mm-hmm. Onside kicks were seemed as tacky until it was changed. You guys have completely outlawed the kickoff return. So like the XFL kind of helped you fix it. If you think about it, like the NFL stolen a lot of stuff from the XFL. The first iteration of the XFL had the sky cam, had the cameraman on the field, and guess what the NFL did? Caleb stole that shit. They stole it, and fine, fine, good. You've improved the presentation of the game because that's great ideas. So do it a little different. But I'm also kind of salty that my Houston Gamblers didn't win a lot. So I may be a little mad. Not a little. I'm very angry. I'm very angry. Houston didn't win a lot. I'm very very mad. But on that note, Caleb, now let's move on to
We'll say one thing right now. How about them Cowboys?
Dallas Cowboys. I've made some moves. They've traded for Brandon
Nice.
Cooks.
Did we? Did we?
Yeah, they've traded for Brandon Cooks. They gave Houston a 5th round pick, I believe. They
Hmm.
let Dalton Schultz walk to Houston.
Yeah.
Shockingly enough, it's kind of like you give us Brandon, we'll give you Dalton,
They got Noah too.
basically. Yeah. And they also Houston took Noah Brown as well.
Yeah, they did took Noah Brown as
Okay,
well.
they also took Noah Brown. Shout. But I think the biggest thing that people talked about is they cut Ezekiel Elliott. Caleb, take us through the offseason moves that surprised you, you're okay with, you're not okay with. What have your
Okay.
feelings initially on the Cowboys offseason works?
Well, I mean, last Monday when we did this, we were talking about we weren't doing anything. We've seen all these guys being signed.
Mm-hmm.
Not our team's not making any moves. We just restructuring some contracts and tagging this guy, but we weren't doing anything. It looked like we were gonna do the same thing we always do and let all these guys pass away and just keep settling for the same crap that we've always been settling for. Um, for a while now. But the next day on Tuesday, that's when things got very interesting for the Cowboys. We start making some moves, start making some trades, and then
Made one
for the
trade.
following week we start picking up some free agents. I'll start with the signing, though, just the resignings that I liked. First of all, Leighton Van Rash signed a 2-year deal, re-signed for us. Love that. Think he played his best season since his rookie season. Obviously, we can't afford to lose linebackers right now. And that for signing him was great, and for it was a very good deal for us, especially for a guy that does produce. I mean, produces like second lead tackle, I think, and just been showing up. Just showed up last season. Love how he played. And then our other resigning was Donovan Wilson. Again, leading tackler for the maybe for the last couple of years. But guys, look at that. 3-year deal, 24 million. Absolutely love it. Those are the two guys I wanted. Those are the two guys I really wanted us to resign because I know how much they contributed to making our defense what it was. Our defense was pretty good. It was good turnovering. We've led the league in turnovers for the last 2 years. These two guys are big contributors to that. Donovan Wilson is a big playmaker for us, a big hitting safety. I just love it. I love the signing. He makes a lot of plays for us, so he's going to continue making a lot of plays for us. And both these guys, they're not old. They're in their mid 20s, that 26, 27 type of range. So they got a lot of years left. They got a lot of good football left. So it's really good. It's very good signings for us. They're still in their primes and they're still very productive. So love those two re-signings for us. Now for the guys we traded for, the two 30-year-old guys. But they're two good 30-year-old guys. I'll start with Stephon Gilmore, trading a 5th-round pick to the Colts for Gilmore. And he, obviously we've known what Gilmore is about. He's been really good throughout his career. He's been a really good corner. And obviously, I think he won the Super Bowl with the Patriots. And then even last year, even at, time where he's been on multiple teams, I still think he was pretty good. He was pretty good with the Colts. He made plays. I think he picked off Dak when we played them. So I could, the first time seeing him, he was playing great. He still can make plays, make interceptions. Maybe he'll get beat maybe a little more since of his age, but it's still but he still can take it to the other way. Still can take it back. Still has that ability, and it gives us a number 2 guy. And I was worried about. We had Anthony Brown, but last year we were just throwing out horrible guys. We were throwing out Xavier Rhodes and the other guy from the Raiders. I forgot his name. We were just throwing garbage out there on the other side of Diggs. Now we got a guy. Now we got a guy from. We got 2 good guys. We got Trayvon Diggs on one side. We got Stephon Gilmore. We have our guys, and then we have Deron Bland as the nickel. I think we're pretty. And then we have Wilson, Malik Hooker, and Jaron Christian second. I think that's a very, very solid secondary for us. I think we're set there for the most part. Secondary is really, really good. And then we traded 5th and 6th round pick for Brandon Cooks. He's
a good wide receiver, man. He's a good wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a good receiver.
He's a
the
phenomenal
only thing, and something against Brandon Cooks, but we're stupid. We're stupid because why the hell did we trade Amari Cooper for a 5th round pick? It's the same. It's the same kind of guy, younger guy, and we traded him for a 5th round pick. We're saying the same money, and traded the same. Well, actually, we played an extra pick on top of that, and we got the same guy. Why the hell did we trade a younger version of that? I don't understand. We traded a younger version for even an extra pick, and we paid them the same money. So what the hell? Why? Why did we waste last year? Why did we waste last year? It doesn't make any sense. We just wasted that. You by you trading away Amari Cooper and then getting the same exact guy for the same exact money for a similar pick. Why? We just wasted We just wasted last year. That's what you said. You wasted last year because we could have just had Mark Cooper. We could have just paid Mark Cooper and had him from last year, and maybe that could have made a little bit of a difference. And maybe we can because we lost by one score last in the last game against the Niners. We lost by one score. Maybe he could have been the difference and made that got open and made that one catch that could have made the difference in the game, and maybe we win. But you wasted last year because you for what? For nothing. But just to do the same thing this year to get an older guy for the same thing. It doesn't make any sense. But given that, still, guy, we needed another receiver. We needed number 2 for on the other side of CeeDee Lamb, just like we need another guy on the other side of Trayvon Diggs. It's the same thing on offense. And now we got our number 2. And then we got Gallup. If Gallup gets back to what he was after his injury, obviously dealing with that all last season, but if he can get back to what he was, then we have 3 guys. We have 3 really good receivers right there. And then if we have those 3 guys, and just like our secondary, our receiving core looks hell of a lot better than it did last year. Mm-hmm. And maybe we can make a push. These 2 moves with getting veteran guys like that have been shown to be really, really good in this league. Shows when we're trying to go for it. We're trying to make moves that are gonna, get us over that hump. So that's what I love about these 2 moves. It looks like we're trying to do something here. And then we go out. We go out into free agency. Finally sign a guy. Well, I'll start with why we signed this guy. But first of all, we released obviously Zeke Elliott.
Your center.
He's been really good for us. But I don't understand why we're supposed to be sad or all this. Like, I know he did great for us, but he was played really, really good. We paid him very handsomely, more than probably we should have. So I don't understand we got to be all sad or everything. But I mean,
you're just a cold man, aren't you? You're a cold man.
I'm just saying, he did really good for us. I love that when he was here. I love Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, I have his jersey. I have his freaking bobblehead. But you weren't producing as much as you were.
The day you guys cut
Dak very, very well.
I'm gonna see how you're gonna react the day you guys cut Dak Prescott.
I mean,
I'll see how you
depends. I mean, what you do for us? So
see you right there. These are people.
I mean, that's what it's about. Okay. Like, if you're not doing for us, then we got to do what we got to do. We got to cut you, and you ain't doing what you got to do.
Playing us like you're a part of the team.
Yes, you ain't doing. But yeah, so I mean that just. But the one part I don't. There's still a big hole. That we don't have good blocking.
You guys have no running backs. You have Malik Davis.
Yeah, we do have Malik Davis, but we know. What Zeke did, he had 12 touchdowns last year. He still produced in that way. He still was a power back, and he still was a good pass blocking running back. And Tony Pollard can't fill that space because I've seen him pass block. He doesn't pass block nearly as well as Zeke did.
So running back is at play at pick 26, right, Caleb? Running back's at play at 26.
Yeah.
And when I mean running back, I mean when I mean running back, I mean one specific running back at 26.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan. That's what I think should happen. But then we go out and sign Ronald Jones, which I don't understand the signing. I don't understand it. He does the same thing. Does the same things as Tony Pollard. So why are we signing a guy that doesn't complement Tony Pollard? We need a guy that's going to take a pounding, like Zeke did.
Pause.
And pause. Yeah. But you know what I mean. You need a guy that's going to take the hits, like Zeke did to when he's rotating with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard just not going to give you that every single carry, 30 carries a game. He's not going to do that. And he shouldn't, because he's not productive that way. I mean, when we've done that, that wasn't his most productive games. His most productive games was playing, switching out with Zeke. and that's how he got his big runs and his big games. That's where he shines the most. And signing Ronald Jones is not gonna that does not compliment Tony Pollard. So I don't get the signing, but it is what it is. I still think, like you said, I still think we can get one Bijan Robinson at our pick if he's there. I really want us to take him um, in the draft. So hopefully we can do that. Another free agent we signed, Chuma Adoga from the Falcons, offensive lineman. Obviously, that provides us with offensive line depth. Obviously, we lost our left guard, and this guy plays guard. So right there, we get our depth back that we have. Um, it just he obviously he's not like something great or that's going to be great for us, but it is a guy that hey, if we don't have the guard in the draft that we really like,
Mhm.
at least we got this guy to fill that space, so we're not completely empty there. So that does help out depth wise and gives us options of what we can do in the draft. I think all these moves that we've done really provides us support. Like we can go in the draft and really pick any one of the positions because I think we fills our holes. I mean, the cornerback. We got a cornerback, we got the receiver. We re-signed our guys that we prevent them from losing. Prevent them from losing depth in those positions as well. So we did a good job there. We did a good job and setting ourselves up for the draft, so we really can pick really whoever. It could be really like I know this debate of best player available, but I feel like we can. I feel like we can go player available, considering we did a good job of really filling our needs there. A couple other guys we resigned. I think they're significant is CJ Goodwin, great special teamer, has been a great special teamer for us. Um, for a few years now. We signed Dante Fowler, who was really good at the beginning of the season. Kind of fell off in the latter part of the season, but he had like maybe 5 or 6 sacks at the front part of the season. So I like that resigning because he can't get pressure. He does get pressure. So like that one. And then we re-signed Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush gets a 2-year deal. That's really good. Provides us. He's a good backup.
Chippewa.
I mean, he won 5 games for us, and when Dak was out, so he's really good backup. He's one of the best backups in the league, at least for our team. He plays well when he gets a chance to get in there, and that's great for us. That's great for us. That Dak goes down for a few games. We know Cooper Rush can win us a game. We know that. So I love that signing. Love that we got Cooper Rush back. And then like you said, Schultz and Noah Brown both go to the Texans. Lose him there, and we'll see where Zeke goes. We'll see. He's narrowed his choices down to what the Bengals and the Jets, and maybe one other team. Forget what other team he nailed him down there. So we'll see where he goes. A lot of our guys end up with the Bengals, so I thought he might go there. Especially we don't know what may happen to Joe Mixon with their situation. So I feel like that's a good fit for him. But we'll see about that. And then the biggest signing was our long snapper. We signed a long snapper. I forget what his name was. Trent
You forgot
Sieg.
his name?
And Trent Sieg. His name was Trent Sieg from the Raiders because Jake McQuaid, we lost our long snapper, Jake McQuaid. I think he signed somewhere else, but we got a
Oh, for the
replacement for
record, I
him.
know who my long snapper is.
Well, I just
Shout
said
out to
his
you, Casey
name.
Crater.
But also another side note, the big Hard Knocks star Isaac Alacon is switching from off the line to defensive tackle. It's part of the
Isaac
NFL's
who?
international. Remember the Mexican guy, the guy from Mexico, from Hard
Oh yeah,
Knocks?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's switching
he's
from.
a part of the
He's part of the.
international pipeline thing.
Yeah. He's
We
switching
have two
from
of those on the
offensive lineman
Giants.
to decent. He's going to deep to the tackle. Um, we'll see. We'll see if he's better there. He hasn't really, I guess he's not fitting at offensive lineman. Just a big giant guy. That's that big giant strong guy. So we'll see. We'll see if he can move people defensive tackle position because we do need a guy that can fill the space. That's one of the areas that we did not address yet because it's still up in the air whether we will sign Jonathan Hankins or not. He played really well for us last year when we from the Raiders. He was really good in the run defense. Really, filled that space up
Mhm.
and was good in the run defense. So hopefully we can sign him. But like you said, it's tackle still is a big need for us. So we could fill in the draft as well. That could be a target for us. But hey, maybe if Isaac can go out there and maybe he's better at defensive tackle, maybe he can be that guy for us. But we'll see. That's still one need that we have to address. But for the rest of our spots, I'd really like what we have done in this early part of the free agent period of the offseason. So it's a lot more than we usually do. It's a hell of a lot more than we usually do because we usually do nothing. So I'm happy.
All right, phenomenal. Those are the Cowboys. Those are the Cowboys news and notes. But now, before we move on to the New York Giants, everyone, I just want to shout out everybody. Shout out to all our supporters. Shout out to all our patrons. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. We really appreciate you guys' support. Here are all our patrons right here. That's all of y'all. Shout out to everybody here. So join our Patreon at patreon.com/LGR_network, as well as make sure to like and subscribe, everybody. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're at 94 subscribers. We lost 3 apparently, and we're trying to get to 100. We're 6 away. Ask your mother, your brother, your grandfather, your grandmother, your dad to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell every Friday, 3 o'clock now. That's the new time. That's the new day. Same time, different day to get these notifications. So make sure to turn that notification bell on. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. We appreciate you. As well as everyone, our merch store. We got a merch store, everybody, at store.letsgetreadynetwork.com. Last time y'all saw me with my good friends, Better Rivals blue hoodie. But I just want to point out, everybody, we don't just make hoodies, we got hats. Good friends, Better Rivals hats. Look at that hat. Look how beautiful that hat is, Caleb. You see that? You see that? It's
Good looking
tremendous,
hat.
right? It's a good looking hat.
Yeah.
So make sure to also do that as well. But now, without further ado, let me take you to the team that wears that sacred blue, the team that has a king say their name. And I'm talking about this one.
All hail the New York Giants!
Thank you, King Julian. We are talking about the New York Giants. The New York Giants did some moves, man. We were a lot of moving and grooving with the New York Giants. For the first couple days, just like the Cowboys, the Giants weren't really doing much. It was kind of quiet. And then, bam, we traded for Darren Waller, tight end out of Oakland. We took him from the Oakland Raiders. We sent them a 3rd-round pick for Darren Waller. I'm excited for this. I'm a big fan of Darren Waller. I think he's a game changer when he's on the field. He's gonna stretch the field down the middle. Something in him and Daniel Bellinger, Caleb. You know how
You
much I
guys had
love Daniel.
Evan Ingram too, but you got rid of him.
But it's because he was misused by Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett's an idiot who should never be hired ever again. Honestly, I don't know why he's on my NBC TV screen. I don't trust anything he says about the football. So why is that man in the booth? Why is that man in a studio show? That man tried to make Evan Ingram an inline blocking tight end. So why would I trust anything he says about pro football? So I don't know why NBC's done that to me, done that to America, done that to the world. NBC, you need to fix that for me, please. I'm not calling for the man's job. Just don't have him nowhere near my TV screen. So there's that. But yeah, we traded for Darren Waller. A couple of people brought up some issues. He wasn't healthy last year. He wasn't healthy the year before. He was nicked up. That's true. But it was nothing catastrophic. You know what I mean? It was just, injuries, nicks and bruises.
He's older.
He's 30. He's 30.
I mean,
You know Travis Kelce's 30?
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I know, but shut up. He's 30. They're both 30. All right, stop saying 30 like 30's old. You are here talking about Brandon Cooks like he's an ancient dinosaur. We traded for a 30-year-old. Oh my God.
I mean,
30. He's
30.
30.
30 is 30. It's 30.
Caleb, you're almost 30.
Don't say that.
Yeah. So zip it. All right. Are you a decrepit dinosaur? Is that what we're doing now?
When you
become 30,
if I was in the NFL,
when you turn 30, I'm gonna call you a dinosaur from now on. Okay, you watch yourself. All right, but I'm a big fan. I think this is gonna be a great addition for Daniel Jones. I think him and Daniel Bellinger could be the best tight end tandem in the NFL. Let me tell you what. I'm a big fan of Daniel Bellinger. I'm a big fan of him. I am a big fan of him. I really love the guy. I think he's a good all-around tight end. He's very good. He's a very good pass catcher. He's a phenomenal blocker. I told everyone when he got hurt in that Jacksonville game, you know what happened? We went on a losing streak. I said, he's really important to last year's team. I think he's really important. I really think he's important. So there's that. Caleb, you're gone. Where did you go?
Hold on.
So Caleb left. That was gonna be me. Caleb is now back. Darren Waller he's gonna help Daniel Bellinger. Like the middle of the field is gonna be like an open. It's gonna be Moses opening the Red Sea. You put a safety on him, bad decision. You put a linebacker on him, bad decision. Darren Waller is gonna open up a lot of things for this team. So I think there's that. And then we signed 5 wide receivers. 5. We don't have none of them are alpha dog wide receivers. It's depth. It's just depth. So I think we're gonna go wide receiver in the draft. I think. We re-signed Sterling Shepard. He's rehabbing his ACL injury. We signed Paris Campbell, who had a great season last year. He finally played every single game last year. It was a good season. It was a good season. We took 2 Colts players from those teams. We're going to talk about the other Colts guy that I think was a massive signing for the Giants. Paris Campbell, he's a speedster. If he stays healthy, I think he fits. The scheme. I don't really watch a lot of Colts. I didn't really watch a lot of Paris Campbell. I've heard he has speed. Route running is a little bit left to be desirable, but he's fine. He played an entire season last year. He didn't get hurt, so there's that. Durability is the key. We re-signed Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton is coming back. Darius Slayton provides us a service that not a lot of receivers can do. He stretches the field. He runs. The issue with Darius Slayton is, can he catch? That's the issue. He had a 14% drop percentage last year, or is it 15%? I think that was the graphic they showed on Fox. Very disrespectful that they had that graphic ready to go. But it's the dropsies, man. That's the big keys, the dropsies. And then we signed Jeff Smith, was a wide receiver from the other New York team, the Jets. I know nothing about Jeff Smith. I've heard, little preseason training camp. He's a preseason guy that people love, which is kind of what David Sills was. So I need to see this man in action to even get happy about him. But then we signed somebody close to Daniel Jones. His Duke teammate, Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder was in Washington. He was in Buffalo. He knows Brian Daboll's scheme. He was a Jet. He's a good receiver. He's a good depth receiver. A lot of these receivers are, Darius, he's an outside guy. He's a burner. He runs. Sterling Shepard is injured. He's rehabbing the ACL. Paris, Jeff, and Jamison are slot guys. Wan'Dale Robinson tore his ACL. He's not gonna be ready for next season in the first half. I think he's not gonna be ready at all next season because it takes a year to get back from the ACL.
He's gonna be 32.
Who?
James
Darren Waller? James
James
Crowder. He's 32. It's fine. He's 32.
No,
You know,
30,
you act like the
30,
man's.
he's 30.
He's gonna be 30.
Yeah, just saying.
So you just said he's 32.
No, I said he's gonna be 32. Like, and also
He's gonna be 30 he's gonna be 30 as well.
yeah.
Say that instead, because 32 throwing me off here, man.
Okay, well, that's what I meant.
Okay, so we're gonna have they're 30, Caleb. You're saying that like it's a slur or something. They're 30.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's why it says not for long, because they old.
You know what, man? You wild. But I digress. We signed a lot of wide receivers. We don't have. I don't think none of them are alpha dogs. There is still a wide receiver out there that goes by 3 letters. That we may go after. Goes by OBJ. So, knock on wood. If he resigns,
Yeah, money for
hey
that.
man. You know, man, the way contracts are maneuvering, everyone got money. You know, people be saying the Saints have no money for like 10 years. They always got money. Like Aziz Al-Shari ain't got no money. That man had a 4-year deal where 3 years are voided. We can make it work. It'll work. We can make it work. But I digress. But here's the key, Caleb. I think this signing, though, is the biggest one out of all of them. Because it's a signing. Well, the other one was a trade. We took linebacker Bobby Okereke from the Indianapolis Colts. Okereke is young. I think he's 24, 25. We gave him a 4-year deal. $40 million. Oh, he's 26. It's a 4-year deal, $40 million, 22 guaranteed. He's a great run defender, very athletic, nice range on pass plays, gobbles up the tackles, 132 tackles, 151 tackles. So Bobby Okereke is the man that because here's the thing, Caleb. If you know me, Caleb, you've known me. What have I been saying about the linebacking core for the New York Giants? We haven't had a linebacker.
Jalen Smith, that's your linebacking core. That's it.
You know what? Let's not talk about that, please. Can we not talk about Jalen Smith, please? You know?
Horrible.
So stop being hurtful. You're a very hurtful man. You know that?
I don't like the Giants. Why should not be?
No, good point. You and your cow shits. Yeah. Y'all gonna be on the. No, it is. You're gonna be the Dallas cow shits. That's what you guys are. So zip it. But here's the thing, Caleb. Stopping the run and getting athletic in the linebacker position. Bobby Okereke. He's gonna stop the run. He's athletic. He has very good range because we're gonna be blitzing left and right. Okereke is gonna be left on islands on occasion, so he needs to cover. And I trust Bobby Okereke. So that's really helpful in that sense. And all the Colts fans I talk to about Bobby Okereke, they love Bobby Okereke. Love him. He's a phenomenal player, phenomenal person. Let me tell you something. Pat McAfee once said, future Hall of Famer Bobby Okereke. Got his last name wrong because it's Okereke. But you know what? Step 1 to the Hall of Fame journey, baby.
Okereke sounds kind of more fun to say.
Shut up, man. Stop being disrespectful. Khalib. All right?
That's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fun, is it, huh? It's not fun when a jackass messes up your name, huh? Huh? Yeah, zip it. Stop smiling.
At least you recognize that you're a jackass.
Yeah, you know, I'm self-aware of my situation. So Bobby Okereke, shout out to you, Bobby. But now another great signing we signed was so Joe Shane said something and I keep hopping back into this, is he wants to get interior defensive line depth. So currently he's talking to Ashawn Robinson, who was a starter on the Los Angeles Rams for the last couple of years. They're still talking. But they also signed Rakeem Nunez Rancho, or what he likes to be called Nacho. So We signed Nacho Nunez. Nacho stops the run in his sleep,
Can you do the
and I
Nacho Libre
quote,
thing?
"Hmm?
Can you do the
No, not
Nacho
Nacho
Libre?
Libre. No, it's not Nacho Libre.
Well, can you do it?
Can he do it? I don't know. Ask. Well,
Yeah,
ask
can you do
Nacho.
it? No, I'm asking you, can you do it?
Nacho. I don't know what the Nacho Libre thing is.
The whole when he goes Nacho.
No, I'm not doing the Nacho thing. I don't remember the Nacho thing. I haven't watched Nacho Libre in hella long, dog. I still remember when he like dove off the crowd and ran to that like I'll be waiting, and he like spreads out his legs. He's like, I'll be waiting. You know what I mean? Man, you know I love Nacho Libre, but that's the point. Stopping the run, interior defensive line depth. That's what Joe Shane wanted. He wants to stop the run and interior defensive line depth. That's why he's continuing to talk to Ashawn Robinson, because like if people realized our show after the the game against the Eagles in the conference semis in the divisional round, what did I tell you, Caleb? When Dexter Lawrence was off the field, what did the Philadelphia Eagles do? They ran right at Justin Ellis because they're like, Jason Kelce is going to eat Justin Ellis alive. And he did. But Joe Shane recognized that and said, we need people who can stop the run. He went and got Nacho. He's talking to Ashawn Robinson. He wants Dexter Lawrence to have a breather. You know, we need more rotation on the interior defensive line. We did resign on the edge. We did resign Jihad Ward. Shout out to Jihad Ward. Hattie, shout out to you, big dog. I like calling him Holy War because it's cooler. I think it's cooler personally. It's also menacing. I love it. It's menacing. Scares a man. But we also signed him, re-signed him. So that's the thing we need. Joe Shea needs to make sure Ashawn Robinson does not leave New York City without a contract. We need depth on the interior defensive line. We saw when we didn't have depth how the Eagles just ran all over us. We need to stop the run with them. We need to stop the run. It's the key. It's the key. And then we re-signed, and then we signed a couple DBs. Actually, we signed Leonard Johnson to a 3-year deal. Leonard Johnson tore his ACL in 2020. He played at Duke. Actually, that's another Duke guy, but I don't think he played with Daniel Jones. Kind of like the Victor Cruz deal, where it's like we signed him a 3-year deal out of undraftedness, and then he stayed with him. So we're kind of like rehabbing Leonard Johnson and seeing if he can rebound into something. I don't understand the deal. I never knew who Leonard Johnson was until that deal. So I think that's probably what they're gonna do. We signed Bobby McClain, who started a bunch of games for Washington last year. It's just cornerback depth, really, pretty much. We also signed Amari Oruwari. He's a DB from Penn State who went to Detroit. Now he's with us. You're talking to Wink Martindale, who had Zion Gilbert, Nick McLeod, and Fabian Monroe as his defensive backs. Give him a decent defensive backfield, he'll make lemons. So it's like I'm not really harping on DBs. We could get but I do want a true number one corner though. So I wanted either with the 25th pick, we go cornerback, we go wide receiver. One or the other. Cornerback, wide receiver. And then in the second and third round, we go center. That's what I want because we lost John Feliciano as well as Nick Gates, who are our centers. Ben Bredesen also played a little center, but I want a true center. So probably draft Joe Tipman or John Michael Schmitz in the second or third round and go corner or the wide receiver with that pick 25 to complement this. So there's that as well. Very solid moves by Joe Shane. The trade for Darren Waller, signing Bobby Okereke, I think were great steps. And now the draft. The draft, it comes. Free agency, you get certain pieces. The draft is how you build your team. And I'll say this with the linebackers. Last year's draft was riddled with injuries. But there was a linebacker from last year's draft that I'm going to keep my eyes on and see how he bounces back. His name is Darian Beavers. He was a linebacker out of Cincinnati. He was playing very well before the injury to his knee. I'm going to see if he bounces back, as well as also wide receiver too, Caleb. Colin Johnson was having a great preseason, phenomenal preseason. Then he tore his Achilles. Now I want to also see how he bounces back. So Darian Beavers off of the Achilles, off of the ACL, and Colin Johnson off of the Achilles. Those are the two guys I'm keeping my eyes on for rebounding and seeing if they can bounce back. Those are the two. But pretty much that's it. That's pretty much all we really doing. Caleb, where can people find you, my man? We're coming down to the end of the show.
Yeah. You can find me at NFL Caleb 22 on Instagram and Twitter on this show's now on Friday at 3 o'clock with you.
All right, guys. I'm Ferris Maloney. Feel me at Ferris Maloney on Twitter. Every Friday, Good Friends, Better Rivals now, 3 o'clock. We're moving to Fridays because my man got a job. Proud of him. Good job for you, my man. Even though that hat's ugly. But so guys, join us every Friday. Yeah, you know what? You see the face? It's the face that makes the place. Yeah. All right. See this? A smile, $1 million smile. Okay, $1 million cha-ching face that runs the place. The reason you're here, because of this face.
Okay.
The reason you have a betting show, this face right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The reason this channel exists, this face right here. See this?
I definitely don't think that's true.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Get used to it. No. Yeah, that's true. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. You know, Caleb just got sunned.
Okay.